Chapter 1. The Stranded. It was mid-November. Midnight had long passed. Derek and Jake were driving down a narrow, tree-lined forest road, returning from their weekend camping trip. The moon was hidden behind thick clouds, and the only light came from the car's dim headlights. The air was getting colder, and the wind was picking up. "How much longer until we're out of here?" Jake asked, glancing at Derek, who was behind the wheel. "No idea. But did you notice the GPS isn't working?" Derek held up his phone, frowning. No signal. Jake anxiously scanned the surroundings. The dense trees on either side of the road swallowed any sign of civilization. Darkness pressed in around them, broken only by the hum of the car engine and the distant howling of the wind. Suddenly, the car jolted violently. It felt like they had hit something. Derek gripped the wheel tightly and slammed on the brakes. "What the hell was that?" Jake asked, his voice tense. "No clue, but I think we have a flat tire," Derek muttered, furrowing his brows. The two got out of the car. In the dim glow of the headlights, they saw the front tire was completely deflated. Derek popped the trunk and checked the spare. It was flat, too. "Perfect," Jake grumbled. "So what now? We're stuck here?" "There might be a town or a house nearby. We can walk and find help," Derek suggested. Jake hesitated. The thought of wandering into the forest in the middle of the night didn't sit well with him. But staying here indefinitely wasn't much of an option either. Derek shut off the engine and turned to Jake. "Let's go." Chapter 2. Into the Forest. Using the dim light from their phone screens, the two cautiously made their way into the forest. The wind rustled through the trees, making the branches creak. As they moved forward, a sound broke through the night. Whispers. Jake froze. "Did you hear that?" Derek narrowed his eyes. "Hear what?" Jake listened closely. Faint, eerie whispers drifted through the trees, layered as if multiple voices were speaking at once. The words were unclear, muffled, as if they were coming from beneath the ground. "I don't like this," Jake muttered. "That's probably just the wind," Derek said, trying to reassure himself more than Jake. But deep down, he felt it too. Something was wrong. Then just ahead, something moved. A dark silhouette among the trees. It was tall, too tall. Its body was thin, unnaturally so, and its head was tilted at an unsettling angle. Jake swallowed hard. "Derek, that's not the wind, is it?" Derek held his breath, his eyes locked on the figure. And then, in an instant, it was gone. Vanished into the earth as if it had never been there. "We need to leave," Jake whispered. Derek nodded. But just as he turned to go, the ground beneath them trembled. A deep, hollow breath echoed from below. And then, the earth split open. Chapter 3. From the Depths. The ground shook violently, and suddenly, a long, skeletal hand with pale, decayed skin burst from the soil beneath them. Jake screamed and stumbled backward. "Run!" Derek shouted. They sprinted through the forest, dodging trees and branches. But the thing crawling out of the ground wasn't just a hand. It was a full creature. Tall, hunched, its rotting flesh torn in places, revealing bones beneath. Its eyes were empty voids. The whispers grew louder. "Don't run!" The voice wasn't coming from its mouth, it was inside their heads. Jake's legs felt weak, but he kept moving. The creature wasn't in a hurry, it didn't need to be. Derek suddenly yanked Jake's arm. "In there!" Jake turned to see a large, hollowed-out tree trunk. Without thinking, they both scrambled inside and held their breath. Silence. The whispers continued, but the creature's footsteps had stopped. Then a sound. Right above them. Jake looked up. The creature was hanging upside down from the tree, staring straight at them. Chapter 4. Is there a way out? The creature lunged forward, its bony fingers stretching into the hollow. Jake barely had time to react before it grabbed his arm. "No!" he screamed. Derek snatched up a rock and slammed it against the creature's hand. With an unearthly screech, it recoiled, and Jake yanked his arm free. Without hesitating, they bolted from the hollow. "We need to get back to the car," Derek yelled. They ran as fast as their legs would carry them, the thing close behind, its presence thick in the air. But something was slowing it down. Then the car came into view. Jake threw open the door and jumped inside. Derek scrambled into the driver's seat and twisted the key. Nothing. "Come on, come on!" Jake shouted. Derek tried again. The engine sputtered, then roared to life. Through the rearview mirror, he saw the creature closing in. He slammed his foot on the gas. The car lurched backward before shifting forward, speeding down the road. Jake turned to look out the back window. The creature had stopped in the middle of the road, watching them. But it wasn't chasing them anymore. Slowly, it began to sink, its body disappearing into the earth as silently as it had appeared. The whispers faded. But Derek and Jake knew the truth. It was still there. And one day, it would return.